Welcome once again to the Real Talk, TRT, a beautiful space where we do talk about the real conversations of life, specifically regarding marriage. As usual, my name is Emmanuel Lama and I am with my beautiful wife.
Hey, Dorcas Magova.
Yes, so very welcome. If you've been following us, it's the final F. It's interesting how I think originally began with the 3 Fs. We normally don't want things beyond 3. Normally people don't want so many things that they are putting, but we realized, man, we're talking about marriage.
Yeah.
The cores ended up being 5, so we had faith, we had family, we had fun, we had fellowship, and finally today
We are talking about finances.
finances, money. It's intentionally the last one because we believe.
We are
As
work in
always,
progress.
as always, I'll put a disclaimer. We are not marriage experts. We are students who are passionate about sharing what's happening because we are really passionate about marriage.
Yeah.
We believe if you want to change society, then, fix a home.
Fix the family.
Fix a home, you fix the community, we fix the nation, we fix the world. That's our drive, that's our passion of why we do what we do. But
I think it's also important for us to talk about the reason why we actually zeroed down on the 5.
yeah. So we have this imagery of I don't know how to put it in a way where people don't get this impression of marriage. It's
the ring.
but the reality of, I think the conversation came from the reality of, there will never be a time when you tick off all the problems in marriage. But the whole mindset revolves under the idea of how do we deal with them, and in the midst of all these struggles, how can we still maintain a fun-filled and thriving marriage?
Yeah.
So the knocking off the struggles is about all these dealing with issues, but not in this whole in a fighting way. But so faith, family, fun, fellowship, and finances. So today we are closing off. Yeah, we are closing off. This is I'm left-handed, so my my strong arm is. So for this time around, if you're right-handed, that's now in marriage. That's one fist.
Yeah.
That you close off. If you have these and you close them off, and it's a process, you keep working on them, then I think you have a fighting chance for your marriage. I think in the next episodes you're going to talk about now, because you can't be a one-armed boxer. I remember one of my favorite movies as a child was a Chinese movie called One-Armed Boxer. One-Armed Boxer. This old Chinese man where he would use just one hand to fight. There's a friend that's going to mention who would narrate it well, but anyhow, so that makes it the fist to really the hard knocks in marriage, get a fighting chance to maneuver all these things through. So next week we'll talk about this other one, but in these other episodes we are concluding the one. So finances. Yeah, like I was saying, I think the disclaimer is put, we are not
We've actually been avoiding this conversation because we are not there yet. We are a work in progress. We've made so many mistakes as far as finances is concerned. We've hit ourselves so hard as far as finances is concerned. I think for us our biggest challenge has really been finances.
Yeah.
Not any other thing, by the way, finances.
Yeah, just figuring out how to, create income for the family, and especially I think for the man. We are meant to provide. We are meant
Even
to
before income, I think, and in this show we try to be as authentic as possible. So we can start off from the time we really got married. I was working, and then I had a job. My husband was a hustler like any other man. But then I was making more money than my husband at the time. But what happened was, we were not planning together. We were not talking together. Yeah. My money was my money, your money was your money. And I think that really started us off on a bad note.
Yeah. Which then brings us to what we would rather coin out at what not to do.
Yes.
So the first, we thought, okay, by the fact that it's a real talk, so there has to be that honesty. So first we thought we would begin from what you shouldn't do in regards to finances in marriage. And I think that's the point you raise of where there is independent planning, whereby it's my mantle to provide, but at the end of the day, it works best when we sit down as a family and then we talk about what is coming in and what to do with it. So you can't plan alone and have successful financial management in the family. There has to be collective effort, regardless of where the money is coming from.
Because at the end of the day, we are meant to be one. But when it comes to finances, most people actually forget the oneness. So I remember at one point, you had to actually borrow money for rent, yet I had money on the account, and that was disaster for a family. So for any couple out there, there shouldn't be that. You shouldn't get in that position where you find one person has money on the account, the other person, like a husband, is borrowing money to take care of the family. So for me, I think that was really a bad start for us in our marriage.
Which then brings in to our second point, also sort of like a consequence of the not planning together. So what happens, you get, like you're saying, you get pushed into debt. And for any family to get into debt, in all honesty, and I know I'll step on some toys here, I don't think there is good debt. You know, there's so many other opportunities to what really like loans and all these things can do. But for me, because for me, my drive has always been entrepreneurship, where you do a hustle, you grow it into a big idea. So you think big but begin small. That has always been. So you can't be in debt.
But I think let me share the reason we actually got in debt. I got the family in debt. Is for example, I would get my salary. You find I've spent on family, I've spent on weddings, I've spent on bridal showers, I've bought clothes, I've bought I've even bought, I remember at some point you said, why did you buy this sideboard at 200? Was it 250? By then, so many years ago, it was a lot of money.
It was way much more than that.
So you're like, we did not need this.
It was from, I think it was from a certain supermarket. So I'm like, who buys a sideboard in the supermarket?
So then I found myself, I was spending a lot of money, and then you would find by third of the month, we don't have money to spend on essential needs. And so you would find that every other month I have to either get an advance, and that really put us in a ditch. So and HR people are kind. They will always sign off. They will sign off. Then at that point, I think I also got a promotion, and then banks are all over wanting to give you a bank loan. So I got a bank loan, a lot of money, which really was to pay off now personal loans that I had gotten. So for me, it was a bad start because we never got to talk about money from the beginning. We just got into marriage, dived in. My money was my money, your money was your money. We were not accountable to anyone.
But also, so here we have planning, not planning. You cannot not plan together. Then, you know, stay away from debt. You know, you can't get into debt. Like, I think she's explained it well. And then we have the final one where I don't know if you call it, don't be selfish. What does that mean? There's an idea of two parallels. I think she will talk more about it, the whole idea of what we are working on and how money comes in. But in the world, it's buying and selling. That's how money is made. You have to either provide a service or get a good or a product. You know, that's how money is made. Then an exchange is made, a profit is made. But there's another whole angle of finances, or a financial blessing, for lack of a better word, that comes from generosity. So I think as a family and in marriage, I think it's very dangerous to wait on a lot of money to be generous. You know, wait for a lot of money to go and check on the parents, wait for a lot of money to send them some help, wait for a lot of money to help get out that cousin from the village, to wait for a lot of money to give
a 5-bedroom house to house someone.
to house someone. So you can't be selfish if really you want to manage finances well. Create room in thinking about what can we give out. Like for us as a family, things like tithe, where a portion, a tenth of our income, it's for that we know that we are privileged.
And that doesn't take, and that is not about how much you earn. Because there are days you get like 30,000 and you actually pay tithe of 3K, because that is what you've gotten.
So the whole idea of not being selfish, you can't be selfish in marriage. There has to be a mentality of a giving family. So closing off, no matter how amount you have, there has to be always an opportunity to give, an opportunity to help as a family, which releases actually like finances in the family. But she'll talk more about then on what to do, like the things we are learning. How are we trying to redeem our steps in
time? We've been redeeming time because we've lost so many years, about 6-10 years. We made 10 years last week, and we are in the process of redeeming time with so much debts to deal with so much debt with people, some of our friends, but we are in the process of learning. And some of the things we've really learned is that we need to be able to plan together. We've reached that point now where even when one person gets 100,000 on a hustle, you actually call and they're like, Mirav, I have 100K. Of course, we have to pay tithe. What are the other things we have to pay? And this is how we've split like how we spend. So we have a 10% that goes to tithing. That is like a standard for us. We have a 10% that goes to giving. We have a 20% that goes to savings. That's 40. Then we have a 60% that now goes to expenditures. We have rent to pay. We have children to take care of. We have things to do. And this is not about the amount of money you get. I've said even when we get 50,000, we still follow that formula. And it's working so well. So we are not making crazy money yet, but we are sure if we can save, even if it's 5,000, in the next 5 years, we will not be where we used to be in the past. We have read, and we are reading a lot really, because ignorance is not an excuse. So one of the challenges we found was that we actually never used to read about finances. Yeah,
we would start like so many things and then they will be so short-lived, like barely make a year. Then we look again for money, start up something new. So we'd think it's the idea, but when the problem was really the lack of knowledge. The lack of understanding on how things get done.
Principles and systems.
In finances.
So I would recommend Straightforward Financial Growth by Moses Mukisa, Apostle Moses. So if you can pick that book, it will be a blessing for you because it has changed the way we look at money, and I can assure you that we are redeeming our time. So the other thing I think that people really need to know is that we used to be scared of starting so many things. But in a space we are in today, we are encouraged to have so many income streams as possible. At any one point, I think in Straightforward Financial Growth, it encourages every human being to have at least 10 income streams. Now 10, some people are like, when will I do the 10 things? When will I run those businesses? But when you look at the rich people, they actually have 10 businesses or more. So we are working on so many things. I've had people who call me and say, but Dorcas, what is your niche? Niche, I don't know. What is your focus? Let me tell you, making money, all the rich people, they do not just focus on one thing. Yes, they will have one thing that is big. Like we are saying, life coaching is big for us, human resource is big for us. But it doesn't stop me from having a boutique. It doesn't stop me from selling juice. So for me, income streams is really the other big deal. Yeah.
So yeah, finances, it's a learning process.
Yes.
It's getting the knowledge and understanding of how buying and selling happens. Then there's another whole angle of money being spiritual. So where there's the giving, there's generosity, there are things like fast fruits, there are things like tithing, there are things like offering, there are things like really the generosity to those in need. All these things are things that bring in another dimension of finances, but that is not exactly how the world understands it. So I think we would need a whole lot of time to sort of go through the buying and selling, and also the sowing and reaping.
I think I think I want to explain more on the giving part, because we have to give with wisdom. One of the things that really got me in debt was giving. Me, I'm a giver. For everyone who has been around me, they know I am a giver. Now, I am a giver. Assuming Lama wasn't my husband and he's a friend, he would call me like, Dorcas, I am stuck, I need 3 million. I would even borrow to actually help a friend. So you find that, yes, I am in debt, but most of that debt I actually gave it away to family, I gave it away to friends, I gave it away to help people. And for me, that was lack of wisdom. And that's why using those percentages help. So when we say we have a 10% or a 20% to give to charity, to give to friends, to give to family, it means if I have an auntie in the village calling me this month, I need 100K, and my budget for giving is 50K. I can only say, I am so sorry, but I can only give you 50K, which is within my giving budget. What most people do is that they will give and give because we don't want to appear like we are bad people. But that is not wisdom. Giving requires wisdom. So as we conclude this, I want to say that in everything, let's purpose to start small. What has killed our creativity, our innovation, our money making is wanting to start big. And as a result, and wanting to be like others. I think for us, we've come to that stage where we are we. We are in our own zone. We will do the things that we think will help our children, will help our ministry, will help the people that we help. So you have to be in your own skin to understand how to do these things. Any last words?
Next week, like I've said, we'll be talking about, so that's the one feast. I think that's a stronger feast. Then next week, we'll have a bit more of surprises on how you can be solid, having both arms. But awesome. Maybe a bit more of credit you have so much beautiful souls behind putting all this, the camera guys, the company, the T-Soul Hub, the empire behind this whole idea.
Elvis Okello, thank you for doing magic with your camera. Conan Tomusime, you are a blessing to the Lama clan. And of course, having made 10 years, we want to send special love, special regards to the people that have made us go through this journey. Our best man, our matron, Doreen and Aja, we love you so much. Our family at UCF, the Orchards, we love you. The family at Worship Harvest, Congo, we love you so much. And thank you so much, everyone. I know there are so many people we need to thank, but you know yourselves, you know the part you've played in our family. I'm even becoming emotional, you know? Yeah. So 10 years has really been a journey.
And family, the Batumas, and all these guys who have played a big role, the Mugisas,
our
it's endless.
sisters and brothers, thank you so much. Man, why am I emotional? 10 years has been a journey, a good journey, a rough journey, but a learning journey. So God bless you until next time. Remember to subscribe to T-Soul Hub and The Real Talk. God bless you and we love you.
Till next time.